What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode where we talk about all things marketing. And today we're going to be diving into my own content strategy. As a small YouTuber and a small content creator that's hoping to grow every page to 100,000 subscribers and followers plus through all channels, I thought it'd be really cool to make this video today to describe what I'm trying to do to actually create more content and gain this following. And already in my content journey, I'm seeing some fantastic metrics that I just really want to report, and maybe you can use this too. So to kick off this video, we are going to break down where I am today on all platforms. On Instagram, we have 172 followers. On TikTok, we have 172 followers. On YouTube, we have 30 subscribers. On LinkedIn, I have 689 connections, but it's going to my personal feed. And on our business LinkedIn page, we have 15 followers. And that pretty much covers all the platforms that we're posting to. And I'm taking this right from Alex Hormozi's book. He's got this 2-hour-long masterclass on YouTube where he's actually talking to an audience on his content strategy and how he started and where he actually grew big. The most important thing that you can take from this video and that I took from Alex Hormozi's video is that it's a volume game. And with today's AI tools, we're able to post so much content. The only question we have to answer really, now that we have the volume figured out, is how much quality content can we create? Which brings me to the pillars of my content. So number one, without a doubt, if you've been a long-time follower, if you've been one of my loyal 172 followers, you've seen that we've increased production by about 800%, 1,000%. We went from posting just 3 times a week on our select platforms to now we post over 100 pieces of content a week across all platforms. We're moving from 12 pieces of content to 100 pieces of content, and I'm going to show you the exact tools that I use in order to accomplish this. So first, I want to talk about what a piece of content is. A piece of content, well, you guys know what content is, but what do we determine as a metric for I'm posting 100 pieces of content? This doesn't mean that I'm posting 100 pieces of content to Instagram and 100 pieces of content to TikTok and 100 pieces of content to YouTube. No, we're posting 100 pieces of content total. And what we do is we make a YouTube video. And that YouTube video, we make about 4 of them a week, which is the most work that we do in this whole process. We make 4 YouTube videos a week, and we use a AI tool called Vizard.ai that chops up all of our YouTube videos into about 15 shorts. Along with chopping up the clips, Vizard.ai gives us the unique opportunity to bulk schedule posts to your preferred platforms. So we post 3 times a day now on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Shorts, and LinkedIn personal pages. So that means that we're posting 3 times 7, 21 times a week, spread out across 6 days a week. That is about 84 pieces of content. Then you have our YouTube videos as well, which is another 4. That's 88 pieces of content. And then we're also dabbling in things like stories, Twitter, etc., to help keep the audience engaged. All of these things translate to about 100 pieces of content a week that we're putting out. So there's a lot of volume going out. So now that we've covered the volume piece, I want to talk about what the content actually is. And my strategy for what type of content to create is purely educational. We answer the frequently asked questions that we get all the time from our prospects and our current client base. So for instance, our last YouTube video that we did was on the lifetime value of a customer and what LTV actually stands for and what it is. You guys should check that out. It's a really cool video where I dive into how important the metric of lifetime value actually is. I'm about to make another one right after this on customer acquisition cost and what CAC actually means and how to use that in a person's business to help them determine how well their marketing performance is doing and understand where they should invest more money. And then finally, as a website design agency, we're also able to open up the computer and walk people through our website designs, which accomplishes 2 things. It allows people to see what we've done in the past, and it also allows people to understand how a website should be built, which again is value-added content. By far, I think the top performing content so far, that we're about 2 weeks in of posting on this cadence, is the frequently asked questions. And I think this is due to searchability. People hop on Google, and Google owns YouTube, and they type in, what is Google EEAT? What is LTV? What does LTV stand for? And the better our videos are and the better they perform, the more likely it is that Google's going to push our videos on YouTube to answer all of these questions effectively. Now, a couple things have happened from this, okay? Number one, I'm going to talk about real world, what's actually happened in the real world in just 2 weeks' time. So past all the metrics and the data, I've had 2 people reach out to me and they have actually told me that I'm posting too much, that I'm posting way too much content and that I'm overwhelming my audience. But before I was posting 3 times a week, nobody cared. Absolutely nobody cared about the content I was creating. No one spoke about it. No one came to me and told me that what I was doing was really cool. No one said a word. I was a ghost on social media platforms. Now that I'm posting in content bulks and I'm posting a ton of content, people are actually reaching out to me and saying like, hey, you're posting a ton of content. So that right there alone shows me that my audience is seeing my content on a consistent basis, which just goes to show that we are growing and that this content is getting pushed to the right area. Now, as far as the metrics go, and I'll pull this up on the computer and show you guys how the content has been performing, but on YouTube's platform alone, I've received 20,000 impressions. On TikTok, I've received 18,000 impressions. On Instagram, I've received 12,000 impressions. And on LinkedIn, it's a laggard, it's about 2,000 impressions so far. So all combined, you collect all of those impressions together. So I'm reaching 100,000 people every 2 weeks. And the reach is probably a little different than the impressions. So I imagine maybe I'm 60% of my follower base is seeing my content over and over and over again. So let's call it that I'm reaching 60,000 people. I'm reaching 60,000 people with my content and showing them the content over and over and over again. And then when people like and subscribe to my channels, that just means that those people are going to see my content again and again and again. And I love this because Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this in Crushing It. He talks about it in his videos. He goes, don't be worried about playing the volume game on social media because you're going to reach all these people and you're going to have a loyal follower base who really enjoys watching your content. And the way these algorithms are set up is they are interest networks. They're no longer chronological networks. In order to keep people on these platforms need to show content to people that they think will like your content so they stay on the app, they don't close out and go to a competing app, right? So for the people that see your content 8 times a day, they're looking for the 9th post. They love the content so much, and that's what we're really catering to is people that actually enjoy watching our content. I believe that through volume, and then as I learn the skill and as the skill continues to get better and better and better, that we are just going to skyrocket this year with our content push. And I'll leave you with this. Alex Hormozi started at 0. Gary Vaynerchuk started at 0 with Wine Library TV especially. And they posted hundreds of videos before anybody ever paid attention to them. And that is the same mindset that we have to have as business content creators in order to move the ball forward. Now, finally, who is this content strategy for? This content strategy is not for everybody. If you're an HVAC business or an established business who's doing between $3 million and $10 million a year, there's absolutely no reason, in my opinion, to post a ton of volume of content. I think that social media's role for those companies plays a completely different game. When you are an established business, you need to create content to lead nurture. That's it. You're not trying to make sales. You're not trying to get people into your funnel. You have a loyal customer base that you really don't want to overwhelm. But for businesses or people who are just starting out, who have been in business for 2 years, who revenue less than $3 million, what is the risk of posting a huge amount of content? There's literally no risk to it. So my advice for all content creators or all people who think they can become content creators who are starting from 0 is to start with volume. And as you post, as you learn more about these platforms, you're gonna learn what people like to watch. And then you're just gonna be able to cater more better content and better content and better content. And before you know it, you can be the Grant Cardones, the Gary Vaynerchuks, or the Alex Hormozis of the world in your niche. And I think that the opportunity to strike is right now. So I really hope this helped. As I just, walk through my whole content strategy, I also like to follow up every single video with a call to action. And that call to action is please subscribe to this video, either here or here, I'm not sure where it is yet, but please subscribe to this video. We are trying to grow this YouTube channel to about 100,000 subs plus, and I would really appreciate the follow. We're posting just value-added content every single day. I never try to sell you anything. I'm not selling a course. I'm not selling an ebook or anything. I just want to grow the page to 100,000 subscribers in 2 years. So I really appreciate you watching this video, and if this helped at all, please drop a subscribe.